Hello Pisces, and welcome to your reading for the period of April 2nd through April 15th, 2024. This is a reading if you are a Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising, or have another significant Pisces placement in your chart. If you are new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. If you do like these videos, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you choose, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss these videos. And of course, if you wish to leave me a comment, that is always appreciated as well. I have some links in the description below to my website, my social media, and so forth to see what else I do besides tarot and including tarot. If those things interest you, that's all down in the description. And we are going to be doing this reading based on the 12 houses of astrology. Those of you who have seen these readings before are very familiar that I use Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche as my main deck. And then I will supplement and clarify with a second deck. And usually it's a tarot deck, and this week it is going to be the Aquarian Tarot. And then we follow up with an oracle card reading, or just at least an oracle card pull. And this will be from the Gateway Oracle by Denise Linn. Okay. We are dealing with a Mercury retrograde. We are dealing with a solar eclipse that is coming up in this time period. Mercury retrograde can bring miscommunications, travel delays, difficulties with electronics. Definitely not a good time to buy electronics or to sign contracts. If you have to do either one of those things, be very, very careful and be aware with electronics. They may not work or may not behave the way you want them to. And if you are traveling, then be aware that you could be facing some delays. Eclipses tend to bring powerful change. So we're going to see where that falls in your chart. And eclipse window is usually about 6 months. So if you don't see changes immediately, these changes may be happening over a 6-month period of time. So let's start at the beginning here. If you're not familiar with how I do these readings, it'll become clear pretty quickly. First house is Aries. The first astrological house. This is about you, your personality, how you present yourself to the world, and how people see you. And the cards that we have here are Fire and Six of Swords. So you are definitely coming across as a leader, as somebody who's a person of action, who has your crap together. This is definitely a very powerful, accomplished, can-do kind of a thing. Now, the thing about the Six of Wands is that it could be that like I said, there's a very strong leadership vibe, and this is showing up in your house of personality and identity. So people do look to you as being a leader, and they do look to you as somebody maybe who is somewhat fiery. That could just mean that you are very impassioned about things. It could mean that you are just a go-getter and saying, okay, when I make a decision, I'm going to go do it. It's action, not words, it is connected with fire. Sometimes fire can mean we can be very impassioned in terms of maybe being... I don't want to say necessarily having a temper, although that can be the case. With this card, with the leadership factor, it just seems to me that you just strike people as somebody who may be very motivated and very driven with regard to something. Second house is Taurus energy, and Taurus is about finances primarily. Now we have Sirius with Judgment. Okay, so Sirius can indicate that there's been some rockiness with finances. Not terrible. Sirius indicates financial situations that may be challenging, but not anything that you can't handle ultimately. Sirius card indicates there's an ability to take the rough with the smooth. Sometimes with Sirius, what you have to do is maybe think outside the box, maybe creative problem solving, think about something a little bit differently. You do have it with Judgment, so Judgment could indicate legal judgments that have to do with your finances. So that may apply to some people at least. But Judgment can also indicate making decisions. During a retrograde, when Judgment comes up, it can mean something that we're waking up to or something that's coming back around after a long period of time, something that may be recurring. We get rid of the problem and then it comes back again. But Judgment may indicate a need to make a final decision or to solve something. But it can also indicate legal matters. And generally speaking, in spite of a few difficulties here, this does seem to indicate that you have the strength to deal with whatever this is. Third house is Gemini, and this is the area, at least one of the two areas where the retrograde will affect the astrological houses. This is the Mercury house, Gemini, so this does have to do with communications, travel, short distance travel, really, and quicker communications, not real deep thought. Can have to do with self-effort. So if you have your own business or you have a side gig or something, that would fall into this house. It can also have to do with sibling relationships. So brother and sister relationships would also fall into this house. Again, this is a general reading, so not all those areas are going to apply to you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But we have Urias with the Three of Rods. So if you are doing something on your own in terms of a business, this could indicate, or even this could just be messages that are coming in, something that is of a surprising may come in. Urias brings surprises, something that we don't expect. Something that may even be that we're keeping to ourselves, because Urias has an element of secrecy to it, of being cautious about who you tell, or being cautious about how something's conveyed. But we have it with the Three of Rods, so this suggests to me an opportunity to collaborate. This is an opportunity coming in, like your ship coming in, so to speak. In fact, in some versions of this card, you see this person looking out over the water with these three wands, watching the ships come in. So there's an energy here of opportunity coming your way, or a chance to collaborate or work with somebody. But right now, this could be something, I feel like this is something unexpected that may come out of the blue. Again, there is an element of caution with this card, and I think it's not because I think there's, my initial instinct about this is that this is actually going to be a very good opportunity for you that may be coming in. But Urias may indicate being cautious right now, and I think it's mainly because of the retrograde. As I said, you want to be very careful about signing contracts and things. If you do, read the fine print or get a lawyer to read it over first. But it does seem to me that you may be getting, and again, if you're not in your own business, then there's going to be some kind of communication coming in about some kind of an opportunity for you that I don't think you're expecting. I think it's going to come out of the blue. I think it could be a very good thing, but also do use caution and make sure you're seeing all aspects of a situation before you sign on. Fourth house is Cancer energy. This is about home, family, ancestry, potentially the mother. When I say home, it can be your physical home. It can also be your sense of feeling at home. If somebody's thinking of moving, that would also potentially fall into this house. So, oh wow, we have Moon with Nephthys. So this is really, you're a Pisces. This is really double Pisces energy here. So Nephthys comes up. Okay, this could be a sister who is, there could be an issue with a sister if you have one when Nephthys comes up. But really, I feel like this, again, has to do with things that have not happened yet. Something that is just out of view, that hasn't happened. And the moon can indicate something that's not clear, something that's cloudy, nebulous. So there's some situation connected to your home or to a family situation that is just out of your view. Like you feel like something's going on or something's coming, or maybe there's going to be something right around the corner, but you can't see it right now. You're only maybe feeling it instinctually. So this is just telling you to be aware that there may be things going on either with a family situation or with something connected to your home. And again, it's going to be different for different people, but this is kind of letting you know that if your gut instinct is telling you that something either isn't quite right or that maybe you don't have all the information on something, your gut is probably correct here. And there is some kind of change that's going to be coming in, but it's just something that you can't see right now. What's coming into my head too with Nephthys, because Nephthys is a card of something's not happening yet and we can't tell you what it is. So it may mean, again, we're seeing these surprise situations. As I mentioned, eclipses do bring this kind of stuff in. Maybe the appearance of the moon may indicate this could be something that's coming out of the recent lunar eclipse that we had, that there's going to be some kind of a revelation about a situation. But yeah, it's something. Nephthys doesn't tell you what's going on because there's usually a karmic situation behind it. Like if you knew in advance, it might affect the way that you manage the outcome. That's usually what happens with this card. And I'm feeling like that does apply here. So I don't know, there does seem to be something coming up just around the corner. So just be aware that something, I don't know why I feel like for many people it's going to be more family than having to do with their physical house. I mean, it could be both. But it just seems like there's going to be something that's coming in, out of the blue, or at least just something that's not clear right now that will be made clear later on. Fifth house is Leo energy, creativity, children, love affairs. Sometimes recreation and leisure applies to this house. But, and again, if you don't have children, that aspect may not apply to you. If you're not looking for love or not in a relationship or interested in somebody, then that aspect may not apply to you. And if you're not doing a creative project, I mean, creativity is a broad term. I mean, we create a lot of things. We tend to think of creativity in terms of music, art, dancing, writing, things like that. But it doesn't have to be any of those things. Creativity can take other forms as well. And in fact, you've got Horus and the Sun. So these are actually both cards representing Leo in the house of Leo. So this is very highly exalted here. So if you are working on a creative project, and this is a very highly creative card, then this is a very, very good omen. This is very good for the sun shining on something that you're doing. If you are looking for love, then this could be a Leo person that's coming in. Doesn't have to be. Or just somebody, maybe somebody you meet through family, maybe somebody who is a very creative person potentially with Horus, or maybe somebody who is involved in healing work, because all of those are aspects of the Horus card. But I don't know, this has a very strong creative vibe to me. Not necessarily with children. I mean, it could be a child with this kind of a thing as well, because the sun is a card of children. So for some people, maybe there is, maybe they're having, it's not really, I don't know. I don't get a strong pregnancy vibe with this, but there is definitely this sense of the light shining very brightly here on maybe some kind of creative venture that you have, or maybe clarity about a relationship situation. If there's been a difficulty with something, maybe it's going to be cleared up. I always associate this card a little more with friendship than I do with love, but it could indicate perhaps a friend who becomes a love partner for some people, or maybe a friendship that's going to grow into something. I mean, that's all possible here. But nonetheless, whatever it is, the light is shining very brightly on this part of your house, so on the astrological house here. So I would say that if you are interested in doing something, if you are thinking about working on a project or working towards something, and maybe if you have doubts about whether or not you're going to be able to achieve it, do it, or get it done, this is definitely encouraging you. Because whatever it is, it's something that will get positively noticed. And again, this could have to do with a love affair or with a child as well. Take it as it resonates. But whatever it is, there's a definitely very strong creative energy and a good possibility for you to be seen or to have a relationship that is maybe one that's going to be very visible to people. So again, you do have something coming up in the 7th house that does point to relationships. So yeah, so we'll delve into that as we get there. 6th house is Virgo energy, and this is another area where Mercury could affect, because Mercury rules Virgo. And this has to do with jobs. So a job that you work at as opposed to your career. I mean, it could be the same thing. Job and career sometimes are different for people. Okay. So, but there's definitely a strong sense of, whatever it is you might do for money that's not self-employment would fall into this house. It could have to do with pets. It could have to do with your health. And it can also have to do with things that you might be worried or anxious about. Okay, so we have water with the 2 of Pentacles. So these are definitely, as you can see, there's water in both cards. You can see this, the light's a little weird here, but you see the water back here and the water here. Yeah, this is definitely having to do with flow and change. 2 of Pentacles to me is a natural change rather than something that is being forced upon you by a situation. But this can also indicate juggling a lot of balls in the air. Like you may have a lot of things going on right now. You may be going through a lot of shifts and changes. Water is a very strongly emotional current. So, there could be some emotional stuff going on with you. Maybe it'll be affecting your health. I mean, maybe it could make you feeling a little more stressed out, a little more tired. So that may be something to pay attention to. You might have to make some decisions when the 2 of Pentacles comes up. You may be throwing a lot of balls in the air, and maybe you have to prioritize and decide what to put down. This can also indicate in terms of health, maybe you need to drink more water as well, just on a very basic level. But yeah, there's definitely these changes. And again, this feels like this is like a lot that's going on here that you have to kind of say. Basically, the advice here would be whether it has to do with health, a worry, or a job situation. It's basically telling you to go with the flow. Okay, 7th house. This is Libra energy. This is more serious legal partnerships, marriages, business partnerships, contracts, things like that. And we have the Page of Rods with the Twins. Okay, now the Twins in the 7th house to me is a sign of a relationship. This could be a marriage. This could be a business partnership. This could be a contract between you and somebody else. Although I tend to see legal things more in the 9th house, but any of these things could apply. Like I said, if you are married, or maybe you may have a partner, and maybe things are going to go really well with your partner. If you're dating somebody, maybe this is going to lead to marriage. Maybe that's what this is about. Could be, doesn't have to be, but but nonetheless, there's definitely a partnership here that the sun seems to be shining on. I tend to connect these two, at least with regard to partnerships. But there's definitely a partnership that is going to be important. If you are married, this could be, you and your spouse could be working very hard together on something, or this could be a business partnership that's very important. With Page of Rods, this is about laying plans, messages coming in. So, and pages bring new beginnings of different kinds. So there could be a message coming in about a relationship, or a message coming in. There just could be an enthusiasm for starting something new with somebody else. Okay, so and the fact that I'm seeing the Six of Rods and fire straight across, you've got a lot of fire here. So I feel like you are in a very creative mindset, and I feel like this is definitely something you're doing in connection with somebody else. Or if you're not, then this may be suggesting that either being supported by somebody else or working with somebody else to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. But I feel Page of Rods, like the word planning always comes to mind with this. So you may be enthusiastically planning something right now. Again, with Urias over here in the third house, I would suggest that yes, you definitely have all the potential here to manifest what you want. But right now I would stick to planning rather than executing, even though you may feel ripe and ready to do so, mainly because of the retrograde. 8th house, this is Scorpio energy. Scorpio is about transformations, okay? Could be life-death issues. It can be other people's money, joint finances. Okay, now we have Seth here. Okay, so this is actually the Scorpio card in the Scorpio house. And this indicates that you may be running into delays, blocks, problems, anxieties, obstacles. And we have it with Scarab. So Scarab can indicate that there could be some stumbling blocks to a new beginning of some kind. There's some substantial change that's right around the corner, and this may be creating a lot of bumps in the road for you right now. But we have it with the 9 of Rods. So the 9 of Rods this is the Wounded Warrior card. I mean, this is, there's definitely the sense here of you feel like you're vigilant, on edge, maybe being tired, something that you want to be done with. And the fact that this is a 9, we're definitely coming to the end of a cycle. Okay, so something is going to be coming to an end. This is telling you not to give up and kind of push through to the finish line. I feel like a new beginning is coming, but at the moment, there could be some obstacles to this change or this new beginning coming in your life. I have a feeling for some of you, this may have to do with a legal issue, but it doesn't have to. Sometimes that house, it is the life-death house, and the way that Scorpio, which is like the death card, is constructed with the Scarab, which is also the death card. If you are somebody who has lost somebody recently, that may be showing up there. This is not an omen of somebody passing away. So I don't want anybody to read it that way or assume that that's what it means. But it could be that maybe somebody has passed recently and there's been some upheaval because of that. If that hasn't happened in your life, don't worry. I'm not predicting that it's going to happen. But this is just, if that has been a circumstance that you're dealing with now, it may be pointing that out to you. It may be saying, you have the strength to push through and to finish. And this may have to do with other people's money too, because we're having that same idea of taking the rough with the smooth, pushing through, getting some kind of judgment, maybe legal judgment with finances. And this is also a house of joint finances too. So yeah, it certainly, if somebody was in the middle of a divorce or something like that, this could be the fact that maybe there's a new beginning that's being held back because of joint finances. Okay, but there does seem to be this idea of pushing through to the finish line here. Okay, let's go to Sagittarius energy. This is the 9th house. This is Jupiter energy, so this is expansion. This is long distance travel, higher education, philosophy, religion, deep thought, institutions connected with deep thought, and also legal matters as well. Now we have Anubis with the 8 of Swords. So, okay, 8 of Swords comes up when we feel stuck. Anubis is a card of travel, and so when Anubis shows up in either the 3rd or the 9th house, this definitely can mean a trip, okay? And Anubis here indicates a long trip or a long journey. Or maybe there's the desire to take one, or maybe one is in planning. But we have this 8 of Swords here, which can indicate that maybe you're stuck for the time being. Now that's very typical Mercury retrograde. It could be Or this could be just that you are overly concerned or overly worried about something. Eight of Swords comes up when we are we're allowing ourselves, we're only looking at something one way. Being this is a house of expansion and expansive thinking, the Eight of Swords here says to me that you need to, mentally, you have to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. You may be overthinking something, looking too much into the details of something, and getting yourself caught up in the yes buts and what ifs of something. So if it's a legal matter, because Anubis can also indicate protection too, if travel is not on the menu for you. This could be protection and navigating your way diplomatically through a difficult situation. That is possible. And I only put that interpretation in because I'm seeing there's other things that might suggest that there are legal judgments of some type that are going on, for some people at least. And the Eight of Swords, yeah, there's definitely, Anubis certainly encourages the expansion of horizons. It does give protection in difficult matters. And it can also allow you to go deep. So this is the house of deeper thought, Anubis may be taking you on a little bit of an underworld journey here. And when I say that, I don't mean underworld in terms of literal death or anything like that. It could just be that we are digging deeply into maybe our habit patterns or our ancestral patterns or the things that bother us. Maybe we're going to take a trip to that effect to work on that. Maybe we're working on ancestry or something like that. There's definitely this sense, though, if not actual travel, of maybe going deep into something. But the Eight of Swords, again, indicates that there may be some mental inflexibility or anxiety here, and a situation where you may be overthinking and may need to try to let go. The person who's bound in this particular card, it's hard to see, but this person's legs are not bound, certainly. And what they're bound with is something that they could probably easily just push off. There's other versions of this card, like there's a cat version of this card where the cat is on his back yowling because he's trapped under a branch, but all the cat has to do is roll to one side and he's out from under the branch. But somehow the fact that the branch has fallen on top of him, he's like, you kind of get mentally stuck in a box or stuck in a corner. And so this is encouraging you to find your way out of that. 10th house is Capricorn energy, and Capricorn is about your career, fame, reputation, sometimes has to do with the father. And we have air with the Four of Cups. Okay, so air for some of you could indicate a job or career change. Okay, if not, this could be travel connected to work as well. That is possible here. Or just changes within your job or career. There could be new communications, things that are coming in very, very quickly. Air tends to be a little bit more detached and not as serious. This could just indicate something. Maybe you have a career in writing, publishing, or speaking, or teaching, or something like that. That could be a thing. But there's definitely a quickness to this and a certain detachment to the air energy. This is not something where there's a strong emotional tie, but there definitely seems to be changes coming in. Now, with the Four of Cups, though, you see this person who's looking at these three cups and they're not seeing the cup that's being held out to them. So you may be looking in the wrong place for something, or there may be an opportunity coming in that you don't want to miss. You may, I don't know if it's just that you're not satisfied with this. Maybe you're bored with something that you're doing, or there's some level of dissatisfaction here that may be prompting a change. Okay. And it does seem like there is some kind of an opportunity here for you, but you just have to look up to see what it is. You don't want to miss an opportunity with respect to your career or moving your career. We're also seeing elements of change down here. Now, these are the two houses having to do with job. So somebody most definitely is going to be making a job change. Again, not necessarily, but you might say to me, oh, well, I'm been in my job for X number of years. I'm making no plans to change. But if you're not actually going to be leaving your place of employment, it does seem like there is going to be some kind of a change connected to that. Maybe something that an offer you're reluctant to accept, but this is just suggesting that you don't want to miss a good opportunity. Okay. 11th house, Aquarius energy. Okay, so this is another one of the places we had seen Seth over here. So here we're seeing some difficulties. We have Buckle of Isis, which I've seen for a number of people now. This is the house of friendship and also of your networks, social networks, business relationships. like anybody who you network with, and also anybody you're friends with. Also, your goals, your hopes and wishes, your quote unquote destiny falls into the 11th house. And Buckle of Isis indicates growth with a sacrifice. It talks about fidelity. So when this card comes up here, especially with the Tower, okay, which can indicate the lightning bolt, as you can see, hitting the Tower, there may be a rude awakening with regard to a friendship or a connection. Or there could be just something where you feel like what you're trying to manifest, like this is a leveling. Okay, Tower brings in a truth, or it brings in something that happens very, very suddenly. And we may have to respond very quickly. We may have to give something up. If this has to do with a friendship, it may be saying you're going to see who your real friends are, and you may need to cut ties with people who are toxic. Okay. And that always requires a sacrifice, because we never like to cut ties with people a lot of the time. But the sacrifice, this is a sacrifice that will be rewarded. When the Tower comes in, whether this has to do with a particular friendship or relationship, or whether this has to do with your hopes and wishes, the Tower may have a leveling effect. So you may think something's going in a particular direction, and this may make that crumble. It may make it say, nope, this is not what you thought it was. But it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because the Tower rebuilds based on truth. So anything that you give up right now based on whatever this shakeup is going to ultimately lead to a better place for you, a better, more secure place, where this is always a sacrifice that is rewarded. So yeah, so there may be a shakeup and a change here. It does seem we've got the 8th house and the 11th house, where we're seeing some profound changes. And of course, some confusion down here in the home and maybe family sector as well. This sometimes does have to do with family relationships, so take it as it resonates. 12th house, okay, this is your own house, Pisces energy, and we have Bast with the 5 of Pentacles. So Bast is, okay, when Bast shows up in the 12th house, then to me, this is about potentially psychosomatic illness. So if we are having certain headaches, stomach aches, aches and pains, that maybe you've seen a doctor and the doctor says, well, there's really no cause for it. It could be due to stress, to unconscious stress. So when Bast shows up here, this could indicate a need to de-stress. Sometimes this is a worry about being seen, okay, because Bast is you see the little kitty cat on the top, and you have the sistrum here. This is definitely the idea about wanting people to see us for what we're doing. Now, of course, you do have this Leo energy down here, so this definitely points to you being seen for something, but maybe there's a worry about not being seen, or maybe not being part of a group. Maybe if you are making some changes here, maybe there's some concerns about your friend group, because I feel like there's a strong social element to Bast as well. This may be telling you that you may need to take some time out for play, or just to unwind a little bit as well. Yeah, and we have it with the 5 of Pentacles. So there seems to be some concerns, consciously or unconsciously. This is often something that's unconscious, or at least something we're not showing to others. There's this sense of this feeling of poverty here. 5 of Pentacles can indicate that you are, whether you admitting it to yourself or not, you may be worried about money. You may be worried about financial stability, about whether or not you're going to have enough. There may be a feeling of lack, or you may be feeling isolated or ghosted from somebody. That would explain the social aspect here. But again, this is something that's showing up in this nebulous house of generally things that are more, they're not necessarily things that are manifest. This is more thoughts that are going on in the back of our head. In all the times, the 12th house is a very complicated house in astrology, the Pisces house, but because it can also be about escapism and things like that. But I feel that when I use it in this particular card spread, it tends to show what we are secretly concerned about, what we are secretly worried about. Again, you're showing this, I've got everything together, I'm victorious, I'm a leader. Unconsciously, you may be feeling like you are alone, isolated, out in the cold, lacking, maybe not getting the attention that you need for something, maybe affecting you, stress may be affecting you unconsciously. But overall, we have the High Priestess with the Ankh. So definitely the overall piece of advice here is follow your heart. This is about focusing on what you are authentically interested in, focusing on what you love, not just what you think you ought to be doing. That may be why you're thinking some changes. Maybe you're in a particular job where It's like, well, I don't really like this job. It's the same crap, but, I'm making good money. So, I guess it's fine. But I don't know. I feel like the eclipse is going to be bringing about some situations that are going to prompt some big changes, and the changes are going to be pushing you more towards being truly alive. I feel like Ankh this is about the life force. So this is about really doing what makes you feel alive, okay? And that's going to be your focus. And that makes a lot of sense for a sign that is a water sign, because you are very much more about the heart rather than the head. And so that is where you need to put your attention. And in fact, with the High Priestess generally indicates things that are just out of our vision right now, that we can't see. And it can also, there's a sense of mystery to it, of things that have not yet been revealed. So I do feel like, the obstacles that you may be facing right now, you just may be in a situation where, to me, this coming up here would be a strong indicator to follow your intuition. And as a Pisces, you will have a strong intuition. So you want to follow your intuition, and you want to, and you need to be aware that you don't have all the information, or you haven't seen all the pieces yet of the puzzle. So I think this is what the eclipse is going to do for you, is it's going to wake you up to some things. It's going to make you aware of some things. And hopefully it's going to be bringing an end to some difficult situations. But also it looks like it's going to be bringing you some great new opportunities, either creatively or with love, or with maybe something that you've always wanted to do, but maybe haven't, because you feel, well, I'd love to get into my own business, but I really have to worry about having a full-time job with benefits, or I have to, certain things where maybe you feel you can't follow your dreams because you're obliged to these other things. But I feel like all of that's going to be rearranged for you at this point. Now let's do the Gateway Oracle here and see what the overall piece of advice is for you here. So Pisces, April 2nd to April 15th. What do they need to know? Oh, we got two cards, actually. Interesting. Hearing messages from spirit. Did I not just talk about intuition here? Okay. And also embarking on an adventure. So, yeah, you have Anubis over here, but of course you have all of this mental anguish and anxiety right here. So, I savor the wonders of the world. Yeah, to me, this almost mirrors what I see here. And it could be that spirit is trying to give you a message. Maybe you are, but whether you're getting a warning, or whether you're getting just an encouragement to move in a particular direction, whether things in your environment are trying to teach you that something that you're doing maybe is not good for you anymore. There's definitely a follow your intuition, and have this sense of adventure. I feel like you have a lot of creative potential. You have a lot of leadership here. It seems like these financial issues and things are going to sort, whatever's been blocked from changing is going to sort itself out. You're nearing the end of something. So don't box yourself in here. We have this 4 of Cups and the 8 of Swords. And we do have this Tower over here. So there is going to be some restructuring based on truth. Maybe this is also concerns about stability here. Maybe you're thinking like, oh, I don't know if I have a stable situation going forward, but this is basically promising that, you haven't seen the whole picture yet. And rather than worry about what you're lacking, recognize that there's an adventure here. So that's it for this week, Pisces. Good luck with everything with the eclipses and with Mercury retrograde, which does end on April 24th, by the way. So after that point, it's safe to sign contracts and to do other things. There is a post-shadow period, but generally things are good after that. And I hope you have a great beginning to your April. And if you like this video, again, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already and you want to be notified about these videos. And of course, if I've got certain things right, do definitely leave me a comment and let me know how I did. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.